Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Curious One is back with a brand new question. A question that stands apart from all the other questions I've been asking for the past few months, which is, who is the real terrorist? Bingo. You know it, I know it, everyone knows it, but no one gives a shit about it. Now, before we start talking about who is the real terrorist, we should know the definition of terrorist and what terrorism stands for. An individual or group of individuals, organizations committing violent acts of many different kinds of forms to meet their demands or to reach to their goals. And in between, several innocent people die, economical and financial crisis happen, the riots happen, and all that. So by the definition, usually what we do is that we enhance the focus on the physical form of it. Just picture a bunch of people having themselves covered or having large beards, and then they just go blow themselves off. But that's what the Western world and what the media of the West and European media have accomplished so far. Terrorism is an act that can be done through any sort of means. For example, if a child sees his father, mother, younger sister, older brother or ex-wife dies because of an explosion that was done through a drone, that child will never be able to erase that memory and will grow to hate that person who has dropped the bomb on his or her family. Now, you tell me, this is what the media and the Western world always tells us, that it is heroic for soldiers to go from west to east, bombard the entire societies, innocent people, just for example to kill two possible threats, two people who created threats to their nation, and return glorious as heroes and be showered by medals of honor and then get lifelong fundings and, I don't know, life insurances, blah, blah. But you tell me that the person whose land, whose family are being invaded by bombs should not retaliate because you label him or her a terrorist? Who's the real terrorist in here? Invading a nation without giving any consent, without giving any warnings, without giving any appropriate feedbacks is an act of terrorism. Anyone, let's go back back in time in European world. When Scots and Irish people stood against England that was invading their women, children, lands and all that, they were also considered terrorists by British Empire because they retaliated, they killed as many as British soldiers they could, but no one really called them terrorists. They were just called barbarians and rebels. But now, because of political agenda, the Western world has labeled the mostly Eastern world people as terrorists. Anyone retaliates against the West, particularly US and corrupt US government, will be considered a terrorist. Now, for me, when I read the definition, the first thing I see is the government that goes, bombards the people who don't even have weapons to defend themselves as terrorists. Now, whether you like it or not, this is a very clear definition of terrorism. If you don't stick your nose up everyone's ass in the East because of oil that they have, none of those people will turn into apes and animals and retaliate and get labeled as terrorists. Now you go bombard them, destabilize the entire region, then go through the United Nations, which is another hilarious outcome of humanity. And then you raise your hand and say, come to West. We have it all for you ready. Bring them here and turn them into retail slaves, or factory slaves, or overnight slaves, or I don't know, early morning slaves. This is the perfect Illuminati power control over people who can't explain things and who do not have time to explain things. Now, you may have a different perspective when it comes to the definition of terrorism and terrorists. You may have different ideas, which this channel is all about. Share them. Don't be afraid, because we are in the world and the time when you and I need to question things, because the politicians have failed again and again and again and again, and thousands of people have died for no reason. Now, if we all stand up and began to question, none of these things would ever happen. Neither West would need to invade East, nor East need to invade West. We would just sit down and live all together. That was the great message of this video of the day. 7 minutes already. Stay safe. The vaccine is out. Wouldn't recommend it. God knows what the hell is in those vaccines, but whatever, your body, your choice. Think about what I said this week, and then leave a comment, thumbs up. Don't go thumbs down, just go thumbs up. And just stay tuned for the next question. Cheers.